Hi, hello. Let's do a little mini life update and talk October reading plans, shall we? Hi guys, welcome back. Bienvenue and all that jazz. It's time to talk about some books and life and reading. So, before I jump into the rather modest TBR that I'm going to attempt to succeed at in October, I first thought I'd give like a little mini life update. So, I was sick with the virus which shall not be named for the last few weeks. And like there was a few days of 103, 104 degree fever. And so the brain and all of that has been a little sluggish, and so reading last month did not go great, which you shall see in my September wrap up. So I've been like feeling a little bit reading slumpy and like all that kind of stuff, so I'm really trying to scale back on the goals, the ambitions, the dreams to read in the month of October. Also, October is the month of my birth. I am a Halloween baby, so my birthday will be later this month as well, and so we have a couple fun things planned, like going to see a drag show with Trixie and Katya, and then of course we'll do something for my birthday. And so I'm just trying to scale back the reading plans. And if anybody is curious, I do have an Amazon wish list in the description down below. If you feel so inclined to contribute to my content in that way, that would be ever so lovely, but always never feel pressured or anything like that. It's just there if you were curious, wondering, or going to ask about it. It does exist. But with that being said, let's dive straight into my reading plans for the month. So first off, I have 3 books that I'm carrying over from September's TBR that I still really want to get to. And so the first of those is Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. This is another one of those like YA authors doing their debut adult, meaning it'll probably be very new adult and have some of those familiar YA feeling type tropes, which is totally fine, but it sounds like a kind of spooky ancestral magic murder mystery, which just seems kind of fitting for the season. And so since I didn't manage to get to it in September, I'm just going to carry it into October. It's described as a deeply atmospheric story about ancestral magic, an unsolved murder, and a second chance at true love. So we'll see. I've never read anything else by Adrienne Young. I don't even totally know what else she's written. So there's that. So that is one of the first things that I'd like to get to. And then the next thing that's carrying over is Notorious Sorcerer, and this is The Burnished City, Book 1 by Davinia Evans. So this is very much magic is kind of outlawed, and so people kind of perform alchemy, but when their alchemy is too close to magic, it's a problem. And so our main character, Scion, accidentally commits a public act of magic, and he gets catapulted into the limelight, and there's some kind of problem because something about what he did is making the like planes of existence start to kind of unravel or come apart, and he has to fix it. So I really haven't heard anything about Notorious Sorcerer. I know a couple people kind of murmured about having it on their September TBRs, but I haven't seen any reviews or anything coming out for it, so I'll be really curious to see how it is, and I hope it's good. Then the last thing I'm going to carry over is the Jasmine Throne. This chunky beast, just with the foggy brain, was just not happening. I didn't even start it, and I still really very much would love to get to it. I've heard great things from some of my friends, like Jashana loves it, Angela loves it, and I hope I love it. It sounds very like political, maybe slow for the first half and then gets going, very nature magic. There's a slow burn sapphic romance perhaps, and I've also heard that the second book, which came out I think in August, is just as good or close to just as good. That really makes me want to give it a try because it's always nice when the next book is good too. And so I really would like to finally get to the Jasmine Throne. It's been sitting on my shelf for an embarrassingly long amount of time, and it is time for it to be read, for me to open its pages, if you will. Then, speaking of Angela, the Great Mistborn Era 2 read-along continues. We are completing the rest of the currently published novels. So we will be reading Book 3, which is The Bands of Mourning, and then the novella that goes along with, it kind of blends Era 1 and Era 2, but some people say you can read it after Era 1, some people say wait to read it until after Book 3 and Era 2, because it may spoil like one of the reveals. I don't know. I don't remember what really happens in either of these. I have read them before in the past. I'm excited to kind of get back into it. I do remember that the Bands of Mourning starts to expand beyond like the city of Ellendale, and we start to have an expansion of the lore. We get more tie-ins with Era 1 stuff, And I think it's where the story really expands, because the first two books, if you don't know, in Era 2, are very much kind of contained. They feel almost like a serialized drama, something like a CSI, because you have like this discrete mystery and our band of lovable characters, and we're just kind of watching them solve whatever mystery of the week. But I feel like this one really starts to have more of a plot. But what that plot is, I do not recall. So if you're joining us for this read-along, I believe the live show is currently scheduled for October 22nd, but I'll post it in the community tab when I get links and that kind of stuff, as per usual. Then, because my reading has been quite slow, I just wanted a couple light, fun, short, easy reads. And so I kind of also wanted to stick with the kind of spooky-ish season. I don't tend to read like horror, but I do like kind of spooky stuff, and maybe I'll dip a toe in horror. We'll see. But I would like to get to Nettle and Bone by Kingfisher. This comes highly recommended, first primarily from Elle, but also I heard Angela loves this book as well. It's very much like grim fairy tale-esque, like dark fairy tale. And the reason why I thought it would be fitting for the season is just because it gives me very much like Tim Burton vibes, because there's like a bone dog. And so I don't know much about it, because I really don't want to know much, because she is quite thin, shall we say. She's short, but hopefully great, and I hope to love this, and I just need some short, easy reads to revitalize me. And then the next easier read that I would like to get to is book 4 in the Small Spaces Quartet by Katherine Arden. Came out, I think, in September, and so I read the first 3 books and had a really great time with it, and I would like to finish off this quartet and just have it under my belt, and it seems like the perfect time to do it with creepy clowns. It's fitting for the season. So if you don't know, the Small Spaces Quartet is basically like a spooky story, very a la Goosebumps, if you will, but if the Goosebumps plots were actually good. And then each book is kind of written to be emblematic of a different season. So the first book, Small Spaces, is very much fall vibes. There's creepy scarecrows. Book 2, Dead Voices, is winter vibes, haunted ski lodge. Book 3, Deep Waters, is very springy, I guess, where we're out on a lake or whatever. I guess that feels more summer to me for some reason, but I'm assuming that this one is supposed to be summer, since it's like looks kind of like maybe an amusement park. I really don't know. I've been avoiding reading any of the blurb because I just want to go in and have fun, because again, she's a short friend, which, nothing against short people, you know what I mean? But like, you really don't want to spoil much of the plot, because there's not a whole lot of plot to be had in this many pages. But it's just a fun, spooky time. I will say that book 2, Dead Voices, was the spookiest of the quartet, but it is like an overarching story where we have this run-in with this kind of mysterious figure, creature, I don't really know what to call him, that we meet in book 1, and we kind of have run-ins with him again in each book. And so I am curious to see how this story concludes for our gang. And then just to sneak it in here to see if you're paying attention, I kind of as a joke / dare, my friend Chris from A Fictional Escapist and I have been jokingly throwing around reading The Haunted Voyage by Carlton, Mellick III, which, first of all, sir, the third? Stop trying to be all highbrow, like, oh, I'm the third, and then you're writing literally about a haunted vahula. So this one seems like a man is in love with a woman. He hears weird sounds coming from her nether places. A corpse comes out of it. He goes into it. There's like a whole demonic realm. I have no idea. It's only like 79 pages. I'm kind of playing with the thought of trying to vlog. So if you would be interested in me trying to vlog my reading experience of the haunted hoo-ha, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see what I can do for you. And then the last thing I want to read in the month of October is I would like to reread Empire of the Vampire. This was my favorite book of last year. It was my favorite book that I read all year long. And one of you lovely subscribers had recommended to me in my August wrap up, because I've been kind of feeling, I don't know, pseudo slumpy the last couple months. They're like, reread a favorite to kind of like get that energy back. And so I'm taking your advice, and I'm going to reread Empire of the Vampire by Kristoff. This is book 1 in a series. He is currently working on book 2. So if you don't know, this book has 3 different timelines. where we're following our main character, Gabriel de Leon, who is the last of the Silver Saints, which is this kind of religious holy order that battles the vampires in this world. And in the current timeline, it's been 27 years since the sun went down and never rose again. There was something that happened where the vampires managed to prevent the sun from ever rising again, so it's been 27 years of darkness. The vampires have kind of run amok and taken over the world, and our Silver Saint is imprisoned and being questioned about his life by a vampire who serves the vampire empress. And so we follow the current timeline with Gabriel interacting with that vampire kind of inquisitor type figure. We follow a timeline of Gabriel as a young boy as he's entering into training as a Silver Saint. And we also follow a middle timeline where Gabriel is hunting for the Holy Grail. And I don't really want to say anything else than that. There's a lot of twists and turns. There's a lot of gore. These vampires are not sexy. They're not anything like that. They are bestial, horrific monsters that do horrible things. And so if you're looking for like creepy, awful vampires that are truly horror monsters, then you should definitely check out Empire of the Vampire. And while she is a thick lady, she also is practically fully illustrated. So I don't know if you can see it, but all of these like black lines in the text block are full page illustrations throughout the book. So just picking one from earlier on, there is all kinds of artwork throughout the entire book. So that's also a really fun experience to kind of go through and have the art that goes along with it. And so I would highly recommend Empire of the Vampire if you're looking for creepy vampire reads where there will be twists and turns, gut punches, a lot of fun, cool blood magic, cool different vampire powers and stuff like that. I would highly recommend. But that, friends, concludes the list of books that I'm really hoping to get through in the month of October. Let me know what some of your reading plans are for the month. Are you reading any spooky things? Do you like to kind of seasonally theme your TBR, or are you just a mood reader? Let me know in the comments down below. Or if you've read any of these books and want to share thoughts, of course, spoiler free, because I haven't read any of them except for Empire of the Vampire and Bands of Mourning, then let me know as well. While you're down there, like usual, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already for more bookish shenanigans like this from moi. Other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!